Well, the president says a TikTok deal has been approved after he spoke with China's President Xi Jinping earlier today. A framework for an agreement had been announced earlier this week after a high-level trade meeting between the two countries.
It comes just days after President Trump extended that deadline to keep the app from going dark for its 170 million active users for a fourth time this year. But last year, former President Joe Biden signed a law banning the app in the U.S. over privacy and national security concerns, unless it was sold to a U.S. buyer. NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Chung joins us with more. What do we know about the particulars of this conversation, Brian?
Okay, so first off, TikTok's not going away immediately, so people don't have to worry about not being able to scroll right now. But what is uncertain is the long-term future of this app, as there was that discussion earlier this week from Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who was meeting with his Chinese counterparts in Madrid, teasing some sort of deal that was supposed to be announced today on this. We don't really have the full details of a deal. Instead, we got a Truth Social from the president after a phone call that he had with Chinese President Xi Jinping this morning. On Truth Social, the president describing that conversation as having made progress on many very important issues, including, quote, the approval of the TikTok deal. So does that mean progress towards approval, or does it mean approval itself? For what it's worth, we heard from the Chinese state agency media, Xinhua, there was no mention of any approval of any deal of any sort, but, quote, China's position on the TikTok issue is clear. The Chinese government respects the will of companies. Again, it's very unclear what any of this means. We haven't seen any details of a deal or even confirmation of there being a deal, but presumably maybe that's detail that's going to come from the White House at some other point in time.
Yeah, it's always interesting, though, because if China says there's no deal, then there can't be a deal.
Yeah, well, they also didn't say there isn't a deal. They just didn't acknowledge that there is one. So there's this kind of like weird Schrodinger's cat situation where we don't know.
Let's talk about the biggest sticking point here. Obviously, the algorithm of TikTok is its special secret sauce. What are the experts saying is the value of the app itself? And is there any kind of timeline that they're pointing to at this point?
Yeah, and look, I think that people that are scrolling on TikTok and wondering whether or not they'll be able to use this app are not thinking about the nuances of the intellectual property laws in China and the allowance of a sale to the U.S. But this is important because it's the algorithm that makes people love going on TikTok. It's that FYP page and the algorithm serving you things that they think that you'll like and you probably do end up liking. Now, if there is a sale from the Chinese ByteDance, Chinese company ByteDance, to a United States owner, there's a lot of concern that that algorithm won't stay the same. But there is a Chinese law that says that type of proprietary technology cannot be sold to the United States. That makes the details of this deal so important, details that we do not have right now.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.